Hey everybody, it's James with the Sawyer Family Reviews channel. This is your weekly comic book pickups video. Today is September 27th, 2018. Ordinarily, these come out on Wednesdays, but I was busy after I left the comic shop yesterday. These are releases from September 26th, but I'm not putting this up until September 27th. Right after I left the comic shop, I had to drive over to Indiana to Carnivorous Creations to pick up my second 1-to-1 scale Proton pack. I will have a review up of it eventually, hopefully this weekend or next week. But I had to immediately leave the comic shop, drive out there and get that, and then head back. So I didn't get a chance to record this. Sorry. Well, ordinarily it'll be on Wednesdays. Every week I pick up my boys at least one comic each, and Gracie a comic as well. Oftentimes, as you can tell by the stack, it's more than one. I pick up all my comics at Queen City Comics in Fairfield, Ohio, zip code 45014. Sometimes I even pick out comics for myself, like this first comic, which is Dick Tracy #1 from IDW. This actually came out last week, but all the copies were damaged. So we had to get replacements from Diamond at the comic shop. This is a brand new series from IDW, based on the classic Dick Tracy character, written by Mike Allred with art by Tommaso. I really like Mike Allred's writing and his art. Too bad he's not doing the interiors, but I understand why he can't. So I think this will be good. I mean, the art has a bit of an odd vibe to it, but I kind of understand what they're going for here. They're going with the classic old Sunday strip vibe. I'm just not sure if this guy's quite got a grasp on it just yet. It leaves a little bit to be desired. I think the writing's going to be solid, but I'm going to have to get used to the art. Yeah, so there's that one. That's for me. The next up is some True Believers from this week. Again, I left one behind, and I believe that was the Black Widow series. We only had like 3 of them at the shop, and I was like, well, I'm not going to take 2 of those, because there might be somebody that's really into Black Widow that might want them. So I left those behind. I did, however, get this Marvel Knights Hellcat, which is, I think, Avengers 144, the first appearance of Patsy Walker as Hellcat, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look here. Yep, Avengers 144. Hey, good on me. As always, these True Believers are reprints of old Marvel stories tied into something currently going on. They are only $1 each. This one is a bit of a stretch because Patsy Walker does appear in Jessica Jones, so I guess that's why they're doing this Hellcat reprint. Whatever. It's a classic issue of Avengers for $1, written by Steve Englehart with George Perez doing the art, so you can't really go wrong. It's going to be a fun book to read just because it's classic Avengers. I see the Squadron Supreme, I think, early on in the issue. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do, complain about $1? I'm not going to complain about $1. So there's the first one. The next 2 are Punisher reprints. The first one is Punisher War Journal #1. I believe that's a Jim Lee cover, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long time. Let's see. Yep, Jim Lee finished art. Carl Potts doing the script and layout. Jim Novak doing the lettering. This is just another classic Punisher issue. So the boys will like this because they like Punisher. Yeah, this is definitely early Jim Lee. He hadn't quite got there yet. It's still great, but he's not quite the Jim Lee we know nowadays. This looks like almost like a Image copycat of Jim Lee, you know? Like when the Image books first started and people were just aping the other people's styles. But it is Jim Lee. It's just vintage Jim Lee. And next, now I got 2 of these. I'm not so sure. I'll have to go back and look through this. I remember this was an adult take on Punisher, so I'll have to see if this is age appropriate for Keaton at 11. But this is Steve Dillon and Garth Ennis's run on Punisher. And, when Punisher went back to basics after being like that avenging angel guy or whatever that Marvel Knights at first did. This is classic run on Punisher here, the Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon. I mean classic not as an old, but like when people think of Punisher runs, this is one of the big ones. And this is a lot of what the Tom Jane Punisher movie took inspiration from. A lot of the characters introduced in this, the attitude of Frank, that kind of stuff. So hopefully it'll be age appropriate for Keaton. I'll have to go back and reread it first before I just flat out give it to him. Next up is Gracie's book, which is Uncle Scrooge, My First Millions, that came in this week from IDW. As you guys know by now, she loves DuckTales and any of the Duck characters. So when something new comes in, that makes it an easy pick for her because I can just go, oh, well, she'll want this because it's got Uncle Scrooge. And to her, that means DuckTales. My first millions, though. I wonder, yeah, this must be like Uncle Scrooge when he's first making his money. That'd be fun. Keaton will probably read that one, too. Next up is a book for Blaze, and that is Punisher #2. He said he sort of enjoyed the first one. I figured we'd give the second one a try as well. This is written by Matthew Rosenberg and artist Zyman Kadransky. I don't know how to say your name. He didn't tell me much about the issue. He just said it was pretty good. So we'll give the second issue a shot and see if it's more than pretty good this time. Oh, those are ads. That art fooled me. Iron Fist. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I like how the covers, I didn't realize this the first time, but the covers kind of look like Dolph Lundgren. Like an old Dolph Lundgren as Punisher. That's pretty cool. Next up is a book you probably expected, which is Venom First Host #5 for Keaton. This might be the final issue. I can't remember for sure how many issues this is supposed to go, but I thought it was 5 issues. This is by Mike Costa still, Mark Bagley, and Paco Diaz doing pencils this time. No Ron Lim. Yeah. Keaton's really enjoyed the series so far, and this might be the final issue. I don't want to flip too far because in case it is the final issue, I don't ruin anything. So, that's for Keaton. Next up is another book for Keaton, and that is Spider-Geddon #0 by Christos Gage and Clayton Crane. And the only reason I got this is because the star of Spider-Man, the video game, makes his comic book debut. Keaton loves the Spider-Man PS4 game, so this was kind of a no-brainer. When I saw it sitting there, I was like, oh, well, he's going to want that. So I guess this is kind of like the Spider-Verse type stuff, where they're going to cross over different Spider-Mans, but the Spider-Man from the PS4 game makes his first appearance in continuity. So that one is a must-pick-up for Keaton. And last but not least is a book for both me and Blaze, and that's Stranger Things issue 104 from Dark Horse Comics. Blaze asked me to get the photo cover for him, and I went with this sort of painted art cover. I don't know who did this cover, but let me see if it tells inside. Connected cover by Kyle. So this one's Kyle Lambert, I guess. Yeah. Connected back cover by... Oh, so the back cover connects to the front? Or do the back covers from all of them connect together? Let's see. I guess all the connected back covers for all 4 issues, maybe. Yeah, I guess all 4 issues together go together. So this one, if the ashcan was any indication, is Will Byers' Adventures in the Upside Down. Find me... Yeah, that's what it looks like. I don't know if the whole 4 issues are that, but it definitely seems like it's maybe Will's side of the story from Stranger Things. It's written by Jody Hauser with art by Stefano Martino. I think the only thing, and I mentioned this before, I believe, the only drawback is they should have printed this on newsprint and got the whole 80s feel out of this comic. So that's just my opinion. So that's it. That is all the comics this week, and it is quite a haul of comics. Look at all those. Yeah, next Wednesday I promise to get this up on time. I ordinarily don't have much to do Wednesdays right after the comic shop, and that's why I can get these up so fast. This week was just a little different. But I'll try my best to make sure they're always up on Wednesdays instead of this late bloomer. As always, if you like the video, please hit like, please hit subscribe, please hit notify, and if you have any suggestions of things we should check out, leave them in the comments below. Alright guys, see you next week.